What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Sheep Get Sheared podcast, where here we talk about people, politics, and popular culture. I'm your host, the one and only Austin Creed. I'm on the road, ladies and gentlemen, and, you know, if you're anything like me, and if you've listened to the show before, you know I tend to have these random thoughts and these train of thoughts that pop up in my head when I'm out on the road, I'm out running errands, just doing normal stuff. And so I thought I'd share another one with you, and, you know, this one might be a little bit of a downer. I'm gonna be honest. It's not easy to talk about these things. You know, it's not easy to talk about how we're feeling, how life's really going. A lot of people like to put up this persona of, my life's great, I'm always winning, I'm always on top, you know, I never really struggle. If only that was true. I wish it was. That'd be great. But there is a silver lining to that situation. Because it's only when the rain is coming down that you really appreciate the sun. And even sometimes vice versa. You sometimes forget that there can be beauty in the rain, even though you wish it was sunny. But my friends, what it all comes down to is this. Life is very often disappointing. And this should come as no surprise to anybody. I'm sure it looks different depending on who you are and what you may have wanted out of life. You might have thought that life let you down, somebody that you knew let you down. Maybe you poured your life into something and it didn't pan out the way you envisioned it. You know, I was working earlier on, maybe what to talk about on the show. And I watch TV, I especially like watching anime, actually. I'll admit it to you guys, I like watching Japanese cartoon, Japanese anime. And I was looking at one of the most popular animes out there right now that's been popular for years, but it's really been hitting a surge recently, and that's One Piece. And I looked at the author, I looked at his background, and I thought to myself, my God, this man has had this vision for majority of his life. I mean, I know this might be too much of a sidetrack, but I look back at this guy's life, and he had the whole thing really outlined since middle school. And he would talk about how he was inspired by Vikings and by pirates, and how he had this drama all planned out in his head. And he was just a natural storyteller. But here's the thing, my friend, that could describe so many people out there today. That might even be describing you. You might be a naturally born talented storyteller. Maybe you're a naturally born athlete. Maybe you're a natural thespian. Whatever it is that you're good at, all of us have skills. Because let me tell you something. The world exists in a balance of sorts. May not be the balance you want, but for everything you're not good at, there has to be something you are good at. I refuse to believe otherwise. Because God's not cruel like that, at least not in my opinion anyway. He can be, make no mistake about it. But everybody's good at something. And as a younger guy, I'm in my early 20s, I understand the struggle. You want to make a lot of money, you see people on the internet making a lot of money, and you feel disappointed with your own life. You feel so angry that you're not where I'm not making millions of dollars. I'm not making six figures. I don't have a six-pack. I don't have a girlfriend that's really hot. I don't have these things and I'm unhappy. I hear people say that, and I hear myself even saying it. As much as I wish that I was so disciplined to the point where the monkey wasn't rattling my cage and I was just embracing the man, the creative, the higher life form, I find myself still desiring these things, and it disappoints me, frankly. Being human disappoints me sometimes. But you have to learn to live with the disappointment. Otherwise, what are you going to do? What are you going to off yourself? I mean, what are you going to do? You got to learn to deal with life's burdens. You got to deal with the fact that life is very disappointing, and you will go through phases that are extremely tough, very unhappy, really unfulfilling sometimes. You hate every second of it and you want it to stop. Frankly, my friends, I'm going through one of those right now in my life. I know I act like I got it all together. I don't. I try to do a good job of letting everybody know that. I'm not one of these life coaches who acts like I'm just some sage on a mountaintop and I don't have a normal life and do normal shit. I mean, I do. I'm not out here special in a lot of ways. I mean, there might be some things people might describe me as special, but everybody has certain things that are unique to them. And that is how, my friends, you get through life being disappointing. Is you have to always, and hear me when I say this, always bet on yourself. Never bet against yourself. Because let me tell you, there are so many people who are waiting in line to cast doubt on you, to drain on your parade, throw you under the bus, discount you, discard you at every single turn. So you can't be one of those people. You cannot be adding on to that discontent. You have to be determined to win. Because if you're not, why the hell are you doing it? You have to find something that you're determined at winning at, whether it's you want to work a corporate job, you want to be an entrepreneur, you want to be an author, you want whatever it is you want to do. You have to find a way to do it, and you have to bet on yourself. You got to pour your blood, sweat, tears, bank account, everything behind it, because if you don't, you can't get mad when it doesn't work out. You can't get mad if it's not a gravy train for you, if you're not even going to bet on yourself. You really, as I sit here, as God is my witness, I am putting so much behind this show, so much behind my manual biblical bachelor that's coming out soon for the spiritually seeking young man. I am betting on myself and investing in myself every step of the way. Because if I wasn't, do you honestly think that I have the right to be mad at other people for not believing in me if I can't even believe in myself? Do you see how ridiculous that sounds? Do you see how silly that sounds? What is it in your life that disappoints you right now? Is it you? Are you disappointed with yourself? Well, why? What is it about yourself that makes you unhappy? What would make you happy? Now, that's a really important question, isn't it? Because it's kind of a trick question. Because I think was it Jim Carrey? I think it was Jim Carrey who said, I wish everybody achieved everything they ever wanted, because then they'd realize that it was really just a bunch of garbage, and it didn't fulfill them. It wouldn't make them happy. Now, as much as I'd like to believe that, more nihilistic attitude, I don't want to believe that. As much of a realist as I am, and if you've listened to me, you know that to be a fact, I refuse to believe that life is not worth living, or that my accomplishments aren't worth pursuing. I refuse to believe that. I can't believe that. Because if I do, then what's the point of struggling? If the struggle doesn't matter, why the hell am I killing myself to get there? That's what you gotta ask yourself. And when you come to that realization, you realize that it has to be worth it. Despite all the disappointment in the world that I will face on my way to my destination, it's going to be worth it. Why? Because I said so, and because I believe it. That's what you gotta tell yourself. That's what I tell myself every day. My friends, you have to accept the fact, again, like I said, that life is just full of disappointment around every turn. Whether it's the people in your life, whether it's the career that you're trying to build, whether it's your children if you have them, your relationship. There are going to be people, places, and things that will disappoint you. But you gotta live with it. What other choice do you have? What are you gonna off yourself? I mean, what other choice do you really have? And for every time you lose, there is something to gain. Now, I know, it's not gonna always look easy. Because if it was easy, everyone would do it, duh. I mean, let's think about this for more than 2 seconds. If it was easy to turn every L into a W, then everyone would be doing it, everybody would be successful, and everybody would be out here living their best life. But they're not, are they? No, they're not. So why is that? Well, because they're not willing to invest in themselves, but yet they're waiting, hoping and praying that some miracle person comes by and says, hey, I'm gonna have to give you a deal of a lifetime. And here it is, on a gold platter, with diamond encrusted utensils. It's right there for you, cooked medium well, right there. Sign here and your life will be perfect. That's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. I mean, come on. We all wish that would happen, right? But it's the struggle. The struggle is what makes it worth it. You ever been going through the muck and the garbage of life, and then you finally grasp that which you were been seeking, and there's just this overwhelming sense of satisfaction that you can just breathe easy and say, I did it. I fucking did it, and it was fantastic, and I'm loving it. Now, that doesn't last forever. Make no mistake, it don't last forever. But at least you know what it feels like, because then it will make the next thing worth it. It'll make the next thing even better. You know what I'm talking about? I hope you do. Because if you don't, I would highly recommend that you do it. Even if it's something small. That's not like, oh, I made $1 million, or I banged 20 women, you know, something like that. It doesn't have to be something like that. It can even be that I lost 10 pounds. I decided to finally quit drinking alcohol, or I decided to go on semen retention for 30 days. Like, it could be any number of things. That could be a little minor victory for you to build up to that major victory that will change your life forever. Not just for now, but forever. But along the way, whether it's a minor victory, a minor defeat, a major victory, or a major defeat, you're going to face disappointment, whether it comes from you, the people around you, the circumstances that are surrounding you. You will face it. It's inevitable. The only constant is you. What are you thinking? How are you responding to it? Because that will determine whether that L becomes a W, or if the L compounds and it just drags you down. Because trust me, I've been there. Military was tough for me, and there were moments that I didn't think, frankly, I didn't think I was going to make it. I really didn't think I was going to make it, and there were moments I just wanted to give up. I have a journal that talks about it, and trust me, it's pretty maudlin. I don't know if any of you would ever want to read any of that. I don't even know if I'd want you to read it, frankly. But, look, my point is this. Life is full of disappointment, but it's only through achieving something, it's only through becoming better, that you can then have the discipline and the wherewithal to make it through the disappointment in your life. My friends, I can give you all the motivation in the world. And trust me, I love doing it, by the way. I really do. Because it's good for me as well as I hope it's good for you. But you have to use the information I'm giving you, or that anybody else is giving you in your life. You gotta actually take action. I did a show on this not that long ago about the wedge of discouragement, the devil's wedge. How there was the rapier of jealousy, the dagger of fear, the noose of hatred, but then the devil's most prized possession was the wedge of discouragement. Because out of the other 3 weapons he had, action was required, but when the wedge of discouragement happened, the wedge between you and your dreams, you did nothing. Nothing, Sippo. 0, nothing. And that is the worst action you could take, is no action at all. It's better to make a mistake and learn from it, or win, than it is to just do nothing. And learn nothing, take away nothing, 0. That's the worst alternative you can ever have. My friends, I want you to know that you're not alone if you're struggling while listening to the show today. You're disappointed, you're unhappy, whether it be with yourself, a project you're working on, a person in your life. You're not alone. I'm going through it right now. Why do you think I'm making this show? Just know you're not alone. I hope you realize that there is light at the end of the tunnel. You just have to want to see it. You have to want to believe it's there, because I guarantee you it's there. You're just not seeing it right now. My friends, I hope this show brought a little levity in your life, and it brought you a little bit of encouragement. Because I never want you to be in a place where you want to give up. Because then All the struggling you faced up until that point, what has it been for? If you just give up? Now that's the real question, isn't it? But my friends, until next time, God bless you, God bless your family, and God bless the United States of America. We're out of here. Have a great rest of your day. Peace.